Per request, I'm going to teach you how to rage, how to let go of all of the stored stress and repressed emotions, especially rage, and just be prepared that when you do somatic practices like this, where you release rage, typically underneath rage and anger, which is a protection, is grief, sadness, tenderness, other emotions. You might have resentment, jealousy, fear, all of that come up because emotions come in layers, they come in waves, it's not linear. But then beneath all of the heaviness of the rage and the grief is turn on, is freedom, is power. So I'm going to show you some of the somatic practices that I do and I teach my clients that are also inside of my Relaxed Woman course for releasing repressed emotions. Things you're going to need: a rage playlist. I have one. You can comment below and I'll share one of my playlists with you. I recommend comfortable clothing that you can move around in. Heavy boots for stomping. You're gonna want privacy, to be alone while you're doing this, especially if you have children or a partner where you're afraid to express your emotions or that's not something that you normally do. It's really important that you feel safe and that you have privacy so that you can actually let it out verbally and express in whatever way you need to, whether you're screaming, crying, hissing, growling, spitting, crawling around on the floor, whatever it be. You're gonna wanna practice taking up space with your body using breath, touch, sound, and movement. I want you to think of these core 4 factors when it comes to processing and emoting your rage. Can you breathe in a way that lets it out? Can you move your body in a way that lets it out? Can you sound in a way that lets it out? Is there anything you need to touch or move with your hands, touching something that helps you express that rage? Before we get into some of the other rituals, one of the ones I love to do is just a guttural scream. I'm not gonna do it here just so I don't blow out your eardrums, but literally imagine, like, I even love getting into like a deep squat, like with a bend in your knees, or getting on the floor like in a primal animalistic position and just let yourself fucking scream. If you can't just free scream into a pillow like you are letting out the most primal, guttural scream of your entire life. Like you are screaming for thousands of generations of women who have had to stay silent and compliant, including yourself. Now, if that still feels too loud for you, you can do a silent scream, which can be really helpful. I do this sometimes when I know that I just can't get away with like loud screaming. You're gonna cup your face like this and just, it kind of sounds like you're like hissing into your own hands. Don't be afraid to look ugly. This is not necessarily going to look sexy. It's not about pleasing others. We're screaming that shit out. We're tired of performing and proving and wearing masks and being guarded and having to look cute, sexy, pretty for someone else. Like, this is part of connecting with your dark feminine, is embracing that feral, primal, rageful, vengeful, like thinking Kali, Lilith, Hecate, Palamin. This is not about looking sexy or pretty or performative. It's about expressing. It's about getting it out. Next one is stomping, like boot stomp. So ideally you'd be doing this to music, so it would just really get you in and you can do it to the beat of the music, but let yourself stomp, let yourself have a full-blown fucking tantrum if you need to. We're gonna move into the next one. You are going to need a pillow again. You're gonna have a little bit of buoyancy in your legs. Feet are hip distance apart. You're gonna hold the pillow over your head and you're gonna slam it down. And when I slam the pillow down, I like to let a noise come out, like bringing it back up. Do it for about 10 to 15 times. The next one is simple, just hitting the pillows. Let it out. Again, don't be afraid to look feral, crazy, whatever people might call you if they've seen you doing this. It's about getting it out of your system. I also love using things like fishnets or clothing that I can kind of rip off, or I can rip the fishnets. Something I learned from Regina Thomashower, aka Mama Gina, who wrote the book Pussy Reclamation. I worked with her in New York City in 2019. She teaches a ritual called swamping, and she would have us put trash bags on and like rip them off. Now, this last one is a bit more provocative for those of you who are daring and bold, which is my rage, grief, ecstasy ritual that I will be leading in Relaxed Woman. You can also be led through it in the free Red Hot Rage ritual. If you want that, just comment below and I'll send it to you. But it's essentially moving through the rage, picking one song for rage, one song for grief, and one song that is like sensual, sexy turn on. But as you're raging, as you're grieving, as you're moving through it, there's an erotic quality. You're feeling it in this like artistic, erotic, like allowing the turn on to come in. I get that can be kind of strange, but it is powerful because Eros is life force, it's aliveness, and nothing makes me feel more alive than getting out that stored stress, getting out these heavy, deep emotions you've been holding on to for lifetimes. If you want more, definitely sign up for my 30-day course, Relaxed Woman. There's a free 2-hour class. You can intro it, or you can get my Red Hot Rage ritual.